Good evening, everybody. It's Monday night at 7 o'clock, and I'm here for mental mind treatments and some psychic inspiration, which I suddenly realized I should name that as well because we started off just doing mental mind treatments, but I found I needed more information often and included the numbers, which is really being able to work on a psychic sense. So we've kind of not changed anything, but expanded a little bit. For those of that have been watching regularly, it's the first time I've had earrings on. And for this show, I managed to get them on. I think it was Sunday. No, it was Sunday or last week. I'm not sure. But then my arm decided it didn't want to go up that high. So I struggled with it tonight because as I have said before, I don't feel dressed unless I have earrings on. And poor me has had to live without having any earrings for quite a while. in my timeline. So anyway, welcome. And as always, I'm going to start off with the God book little that I picked up. And it says, all that is one. I am one with all that is. And you can read it here. I am one with all that is, which is wonderful. On the other side, it says, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. That's a unity prayer. And I actually needed to have prefaced that. If not everybody likes the word God for whatever reason, and you just put in your own word, whatever it is that you want that represents that bigger force, that knowingness of the force. I have no trouble with the word God. If you do it numerologically, it adds up to 9, which is all things. So really, we're talking about that energy that's there, and I call it the love source because that's what I relate to. I've had a few people get in contact with me via texting mostly, and so we will start with that. And Karen Lee, thank you. That helps actually when we get something a little earlier. So, and then we just work through the few. If we're small tonight, that's fine too. So Karen Lee asked for mental and physical. I've written, physical fatigue. That's what it was. Dealing with so many. What have I written down here? And dealing with everything that's going on in her home or with her mom, which we also have one for her too. So Karen Lee, your numbers 17, 20, and 12. And thank you for putting them in because it does make my life a lot easier in lots of ways. 17 is all about balance. And balancing is very much a sense of how much we have inside and how much we put out. So it's like we need more in here than we put out. If we put out too much energy, what ends up happening is that we end up feeling depleted, basically. And so it's really about learning how to balance that because we don't want to give it all away. So it's to me here, when I look at that 17, it says, remember, you got to fortify yourself. And number 20 being the higher acceptance of that, knowing, ask for help, which you're probably doing, but ask for strength, ask for what it is that you need. And again, acceptance. Both 20 and 12 are both acceptance symbols, to accept things as they are. And I just really feel with that 17 coming up first is that you work with your energy. Like, I can't say don't get upset because we tend to get upset, but it's like just allow. Think of allow and concentrate on you and do what you have to do. Do what you have to do, and that's all. Don't go giving more than you have the energy to give because you've got to look after you and you've got to maintain who you are, where you're going, and what you're doing. Sometimes not always easy to follow, I understand, but put it in your consciousness, allow that to move down. So we will move into the treatment. I know there is one power and one essence. And I know this power is for all of us to utilize and to work with and to know. And so I speak my word for Karen Lee. And as I speak my word for Karen Lee, I know the fortification of mental and physical beingness offsets the fatigue that happens with dealing with your mom. I also know by accepting that the power is there, and if as through asking for that power to strengthen and deepen and broaden within you, that the fortitude that you're required for this time period right now will be there. So it will be easier to balance not only your mental, but also your physical, and just that sense of self-soothing and for yourself. There is one power and one essence. It is there for you. But if you give too much, then what happens? The balance gets lost, and it's very hard to come away from the fatigue. So, fortification, things that have you feel more supported and loved and aware, and knowing that you wouldn't be experiencing this if you don't have the energy for it. Honestly, it's like we all have things that we go through, and then it's like that experience of knowing that you are supported, maybe not immediately around you physically, but in that bigger picture, that you're supported and that you're able to work with that and really, really well. I give thanks in knowing that the healing light of being is there. I give thanks in knowing that all things are working in such a wonderful way, that there is a strength that comes to you. And that's what I'm feeling is needed here, is the strength of knowing that energy will flow with you and you'll use what you have, and that you look after yourself so that you are one and complete and feel like no matter what, you have the strength, the energy to keep on plugging. I give thanks in the knowing of this, and I give thanks in knowing that it is done. And I will wish for greatness for you. And so it is. Amen. Now we're going to do one for your mom. And you gave me three numbers there, 3, 15, and 17. And I smiled when I wrote this, which is quite earlier today. Number 3 is the love, to know the love is there. And 15 is the devil symbol, which is actually held in emotions, which your mom is. We know that. Held in the fear of dying and all of that. And then 17, which is what you had in the beginning, is the rebalancing and allowing what you know. I just feel that the fear factor of everything, and one of the things you mentioned here was inner peace and the acceptance of spirits coming to help. And I wrote to help her in a transition. This is something for all of us to remember, that when it is time for you to leave the body, that people come to you to help you, whether it is somebody that you know or another higher being, a teacher, a supporter, etc. Doesn't matter who. There'll be people there to help you in your transition. And that is not taught in regular, I don't think, in circumstances. I've never been in a church and heard people talk like that. So very often when we are from the older generation, is that, unless you've been in contact of, people knowing that there are helpers, there's a lot of fear, because churches in some ways, just maybe a bit disrespectful, but very often work on fear to have you be there. Like if you're not afraid, then you know how it is. So we want here for Karen Lee's mom, Margaret, we want the inner peace and to accept that the spirits that she's seeing, instead of getting more fearful and uptight, begins to relax. Part of this, I think, is they need to become a little bit more visible as to who and what, and let the light of them to shine through. And so that will take away the darkness that she's afraid of, because that's what happens. When we're scared of the unknown. How many times in our own lives, when we have new situations come up, we're scared of that. We're not sure, and we move into fear, and we withdraw. And this time it gets really a little scary, because you're leaving your physical body, and you don't know where you're going unless you're really trained for that or understand that. And I think that even if you've trained and understand it, it could still be a little fearful, because we don't remember dying. Some people do, actually, but most of us don't remember dying before. We just know we did, especially if we've done past. That's why when I do past life, used to do in workshops a lot, but when I do individual ones, I have them go through the death process and the life they're looking at. I have them look at what's happening and then coming into this life, so they get to see how things work, the transitions. And there was one time when I was really quite ill, not that long ago. I thought I was dying. I had a fever. I don't have fevers, and I really thought this is it. And then I went, hold on, there's nobody here. None of my family were there. No guides that I know were there. It was just me being nervous because I was so ill. And I went, oh, I'm not dying. Everything shifted just like that. So it's like it's very much, even though I know the process, there's still a lot of nervousness and concern. So let us think about Margaret. Let's center the thoughts and the power that there is. Because if I know in this one power and the one essence, as I speak my word for Margaret, that there's peace within herself. To dig deep, it's almost like deeping through all the fear and the concern and the anxiety. It's like a crochet hook, pulling up the inner peacefulness, pulling up the knowingness and the desire to be loved beyond measure, allowing that to move forward. So there is an acceptance of the transition, of the support and the power that is there, that is coming to help her within that. I breathe into that. I just feel like I need to let go the fear. I need to let go all of the concerns and the anxieties and the fears of where I'm going to end up. And I want to put a drop of knowing that no matter where she goes next, it's comfortable. There is comfort. There is a sense of awe of how beautiful it is and how comfortable it is, and being able to see beauty and feeling safe and secure. So I know that there is an acceptance of her transition. There is an acceptance of the helpers that are kind of that are there. Sorry, they're there already to help her with the transition, so that she lets go her fear of everything and allows the newness, the brilliance of the light and the beingness to come in. I give thanks in this knowingness. I give thanks in that there is solace here, a feeling of, it's like a breath of fresh air, of going, and the sigh of letting go, so that as the soul leaves the body in kind, willing, and loving hands to make that transition into the other side. I give thanks in this knowingness. Got tears in my eyes a little bit. I give thanks in the knowingness of this easy transition and the welcoming of being in a place of acceptance and love and understanding. And we let that go by saying, and so it is. I'm going to next go to Kayla. What I've written down here is Kayla. Some of you are written up there. We'll come to those in a minute. Kayla sent me 3 numbers, not really. And so I do know that there's always a sense of wanting energy. And I added love. There seemed to be something about having just an extra drop, an awareness of lovingness. The numbers that were given to me was 1, 3, and 21. 1 says everything is possible. 3 is the love vibration. 21 is balance. So what do we do with that? All things are possible with love, and it needs to be balanced. and it goes back to the 17s that we've had, if we do not balance that for ourselves, if we do not take that which is deserving of ourselves, if we give that all away, if we want to be so helpful and so, I'm going to use the word considerate, that we are all concerned about everybody else and not necessarily the self. I feel this is a matter of recognizing that in the energy and the love vibration is that we, yes, it's not saying not give, but it's giving appropriately, just like we've seen in the basically the first two. Balancing is really energy really energy is really important when it comes to energy. To allow the love to sustain you, to allow this universal love force, whatever you call it, whatever you pray to and however you pray, or you just speak to it or whatever, is to let it in because it is there. That is one thing the magician talked about, which is number one. Everything is possible because the energy is there. You're a magician with it. You bring it in, you allow it to work on it. I know I'm working on some healing stuff again, just because, you know, things are happening and you know that, okay, something's not quite right. Well, where am I not doing? So it's very much like coming back sometimes to square one, looking at, are we really in alignment with that force? Yes, we have all this love, but are we allowing it in for ourselves? Do we take our share of that love? Or do we feel we have to give it out all the time? That's where the balance comes in. We must know as a vehicle, as we are a vehicle, we give out. As a vehicle, we are in balance, yes, but we must allow for ourselves. And Kayla, my dear, it's like just look after yourself for a while. Build up the resources, build up the strength, build up the energy. Know the loving force is big, and then it's easy to give this here support there because you're full right up to the brim. And that's a good aspect for anyone who's in the caring and helping and doing everything for everybody. Remember, you can't give it all away. What happens when you drink your glass of water and there's no more water in the glass? What are you going to do? You got to go to the tap or the bottle or wherever and refill it. Same thing as inside with our love force. If we are giving our energy, if we're giving our healing, if we're giving our insight, I know I used to work as a psychic on shows where I reading after reading after reading, and then I got older, and therefore I had to, not do it. So, and even now, I when I have clients come, I often will strategize a little bit because I know at my age now, unfortunately, I can't work psychically like that. So, because I'm depleted, because it's old. I don't know. I want to scrub that for a moment. We'll let that go. But my dear Kayla, you are ready to balance. You're ready to, yes, we know you have a lot of love, but it's like just allow it to be inside and divvy it out, maybe in smaller dosages, so that it's not on you, but you're looking after yourself. I give thanks in the knowing of this that has come through. I give the thanks as we release this for Kayla for strength, energy, love within herself to be able to do her work gently and easily. And so we release this thought knowing it is true, and it is done by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, still going down my list here. This is for Miriam. She wants to manifest a new home, and we've got 9, 17, and 21. 9 says the answer lies within. 17 again, balance, and 21, balance. What am I supposed to do with that? Okay. Let me just get inspiration from above. I know there's one power, and I know there's one aspect within ourselves. We're all connected. We're all connected to that force from the moment we took our first breath. And it's like the answer is what inside yourself, so that you know what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And so that you can be balanced and aware to celebrate the new home. I just feel it's like a chasm missing. It's like, here you are, and there's the new home, but how do we cross the is I saying the word right? CHASM, chasm? Anyway, it's like I don't know, it's just a big gap. It's a big gap here. But it says the answer lies within you. And it's not that you haven't been trying to manifest a new home. You're celebrating it, you're wanting it, you're desiring it, but somehow there's a blocking of it, I feel. And it's like, because with these three numbers, the answer lies within to creating a balance, a really big, not only an emotional balance, but just living balanced. So maybe it's about how one manifests what one desires and wants and allows it to spread bigger somehow, to create that new home, to manifest that new home. So as we move into treatment, I'm going to treat that the insight as to how to manifest a new home is made very clear about what you are to do. I know you have connections to the other side. I know they talk to you, but I feel that the right questions haven't been asked here somehow. It's though we're going to just treat and know that the right answer to how to manage, it's about how in here, how to do it, how to manifest a new home. And so to open yourself up to hear what's said rather than what you're expecting to hear. I give lots of thanks for this, and knowing that there is a step or a transition into a new perspective. And that is being able to accept that into an awareness of being and loving and knowing. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks for Marianne having a new perception on manifesting a new home. And I release this thought, knowing it is done and it is true, by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. Hang on a minute. I got to go back up here a little bit. I saw Meggie G had put something in. So Marion says, hello, good evening, Norma, and blessings to all, which she usually does because she's working with the Tibetan bowl while I do this. So she usually lets me know before, so she doesn't have to just stop working the bowl. It keeps me alive and well, I guess, at these moments, which is great. So Maggie G says, I got the 9, 13, and 17 written down here. She says, good evening, Norma and all, and would like a treatment on self-discipline. I love that. She says, not too good at it. Many of us are not. I'm certainly wasn't good at it today, that's for sure. Discipline, self-discipline. I was giving myself a talk about that earlier, actually. Excuse me. I didn't bring any water over. Another thing I forgot, even though I was early here. Okay. I know there is one power, but first I'm going to talk about the numbers a little bit. The numbers said the answer lies within because there is progression. That's both of the 13 and 7 is about change, leaving behind the old and moving into new. One is that it is right behind. The other one is being kind of going through the desert into the new. So to me, when we're looking at self-discipline and we see this, it's like I equate with this with myself, so I must separate myself a little bit from this, is that you know the answer to this. And that yes, it is a journey, and it is not an easy journey. But to succeed, I'm going too fast. But to succeed, to achieve what you want to achieve of self-discipline, however you want to apply that, is going to take your commitment to that. So I'm going to treat for self-commitment on change, if that's okay with you. I trust it will be. That's what I get when I look at those three numbers. With to create self-discipline has to be a commitment to self to change it. I know there is one power, and I know that Maggie G is also connected to that power and that love and that essence. And so, therefore, I know that to commit to have the self discipline that you would like is to change some basic thinking, to change how the perception, but mostly because of how I'm looking with my eyes, it's to change the end result. I don't think you have an end result. I think that you're saying, I must change, I must do this, but what's the win that you want from this? Where is it that you really want what you really want to achieve? It's not really self-discipline, it's a certain result you want. So the commitment to self, to change, to create, is that you need to have your goal. What's the goal? So I'm going to suggest in the middle of this treatment is that you really look at the goal that you're wanting so that you can be self-committed to change. If we don't have a goal at the end of it, this talks about leaving and moving and maybe having a fuzzy goal. But I think the answer's here inside. You need to create a goal that you really want so that self-discipline is not even on the plate because it's self-evident. I give thanks in knowing, and I give thanks in help, the help that came with that to assure me exactly what was needed. I give thanks as I release this thought, knowing that Maggie G is going to create the goal that she needs so that she can have self-discipline to achieve what it is she wants. I give thanks in this as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Whew. Karen Lee says hi. CC9 says hi. Lynn Eklund says hello, Norma. Hello there. Karen Merkus. Hello, my dear. And let's see what we've got here. 21, 11, and 12. I was praying for you today. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing pretty good. And lots of changes, some new things come up, but we're working through them. So thank you. Your prayers are always welcome because it helps me to get fortified a little bit too at times. I'm still figuring out, I'll know it more tomorrow, why I'm going through this extra stuff. Anyway, 21, 11, 12. You don't say what it's in relation to. But, 21 again with 21 is that balance point where everything is balanced. 11, you could say, is a form of balance as well, but it's really the commitment to your journey. And then 12 is the acceptance of the journey. And we know that you've made a tremendous change. I'm very proud of you, actually, or what you have done. But it just shows here that you are in a place of balance within yourself. But now it's okay. Now we've got to go to the next step. Sometimes we think it's just one step. But when we're on a spiritual journey, when we're changing things in our lives, it's many steps. And we work on one, and then we kind of solidify. And you've been doing that. And by looking at this, I would say that you are now ready to commit to the next level. And that's the acceptance of the next level, the acceptance of the next steps, the acceptance of the direction that you're going in and how that looks and where it's leading. So we maybe need a little more faith in there. So let's take a look. I know there's one power in one essence, and I know as I speak my word for Karen, that the path that she is on is now unfolding again before her. And so comes the decision, do I step onto the next level of that path? Do I move forward with that path? Do I produce, in a sense, for that next path? And also, do I accept the responsibility of that? Doing spiritual work, and even if you don't always think of it as spiritual work, takes not only commitment, but it takes responsibility. It takes an acceptance that you will have more things maybe to deal with than others. But there is also a strength within that, a strength of knowingness and creating the balance that you have. There is this awareness of you moving forward, and it's your choice. I would say personally that if you don't make that choice now, you'll make it another time. It could be later, you could delay it, but it's not that you're going backwards at all. You're here now. So now that leaven, that commitment for the next step, that next stage that you maybe can't get a real inkling of what that is yet, but it will come, it will manifest, it will show itself, it will bring forward the direction you're heading in. And it's just an acceptance of that. And I feel the key here is to be very quiet, quietly accepting the direction that you're heading in, where you're going, and what you're doing. And for that, I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. And I release this thought knowing that your decisions will come easily and bring about a greater sense of direction. And for that, I give thanks as I release this, knowing that it is done by saying, and so it is. Amen. And thank you for always being here. Okay, CC99 says, I so enjoy your live energies, your sorry, your mention of physical fatigue. Was that mine? It wasn't really mine. It's just kind of, no, everything's fine, I think. Kayla says, sending much love and blessings, bless her heart. Okay, CC's Lynn Eklund says, may I have a treatment to help with justice? Hang on a minute. Justice and support in proceeding with what you're dealing with. Is that what you've got here, I think? Yeah, dealing with 8, 3, and 19. Thank you. And that's Lynn. Well, the one thing I like about your numbers is that 8 shows you have strength and you're already connected spiritually, and that you have the love, and that you are really ready. I can't get the word ready out. Isn't that funny? It's like you're really ready to go for it. Did I write? Hang on. What did I say? To help with justice. I'm presuming that whatever you're doing is important. I just think you know what you have to do, basically. So I'm just going to do a treatment that brings that strength and that awareness that you believe in yourself during that. So here we go. I know there is one power and we're connected to it. And I know that power is with Lynn as she perceives forward to create her justice. And she has the support to move ahead. And that's because there is a spiritual connection here and knows how to ask for strength, for a way, for that purpose, for that knowingness. And the love of the self says, yes, I can do this. And I feel that the love, which is number 3, spreads out within you to have that support in proceeding ahead. The decision's already been made. You've made that decision. This is not about you making a decision. That's been made. What this is about is for you knowing that you have everything that you need to proceed easily. You know, it's like everything, you have the strength, you have the absolute inner love and commitment. You have the rest of all that has gone before is behind you. It is all about moving ahead and knowing totally and 100% that as whatever comes up, whatever it is, you will handle it. You'll step over it. You'll step on it. You'll turn your back to it or whatever is needed, whatever is required, you will do that. You will go ahead. And I am so thankful for you, and I bless you. And I just want you to know that you're on the right track, totally 100%. And I give thanks as I release this, knowing that it is done by saying, and so it is. You will proceed easily with love, which is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. CC99, I also know I can feel the love through the tough exteriors. I don't know what else that means in relation to. Can hold it through their healing. Maybe, okay. This is very helpful, and so it is. Much love. Great. Glad it was helped. Solace this word. Solace this word. Okay. Must have left solace out somewhere. Karen Lee says, thank you very much. She's jumped there. Cece, and you've got loads of things here. It just makes it difficult. As for the third reason, okay, creates competition, unfortunately. I don't understand because it's not all in one line. You've got it all over the place here. I see the leg. Don't understand this. On the tarot cards of horses. I don't know what you're meaning there. You can email me or text me or something. You can always go through my website. Everything's on the website. Kayla says, thank you for the loving energy I take in, and then there is more to radiate. And also for yourself, my dear. CC, zero disrespect with a backbone. I wish I knew what this is all about. CJ, hi, Norma. Okay, let's see what we got here. 11, 55, and 33. Okay, so we're going to take the 5 and the 3. I'm going to break that down. Or we could make that a 6 and make that a 1, too. 5 and 5 are 10, right? Oh, I know I've been on radio, and, you don't ever have blank silences when you're on radio. But sometimes I look at this and I have to let everything just gel a little bit. But then I'm on live, so at least you can still look at me. See me. Okay, there's a decision here, CJ. Did you put words so I know what this is about? If possible, please. Okay. But what is possible, I wonder? Never mind. I'll figure it out. After all, that's what I do in life. Okay, so there's a decision here. There's a decision you need to make. And it says, I feel that there's a decision. And what it shows me here is that you have all the information, but you're scared, nervous, and unsure. And because of that, you're not making the decision. So when we look, and even when I say that, I can't look up, I can't look into the future because I haven't, it's like I've come to a blockage, I've come to a stop. And it's like it's almost like I won't say afraid, but I feel like there's a ravine over there. I've got a curtain in front. I can't see it, but I know it's there. But is it really there, or is it part of your mind worried about what is out there? The desire of what we want very often and what is actually there. But when you have to, and I'm going to say have to, make a commitment, which is, the decision is the easy part of it, but the commitment to the journey, to the commitment to what you're wanting to do, you got to start doing it. It's like creating, like if you're going to make supper, or you're going to go start a project, like if you're going to knit something or crochet something, or you're going to make something, or however you do creativity, you need to make a decision, then you start it. But the key is the startment is the commitment. When you put it into practical form, And what I'm seeing here is a lot of not putting it into practical form. It's like there's all these thoughts and ideas and great, but they're not manifested because there's confusion and uncertainty and a feeling like it's just going to happen. We create, first of all, with thought. Then we create with action. And that's what I feel lacking here. The action is the commitment. The action is the going ahead. And then not getting fearful over what looks like comes next. You see, sometimes when we start something, we don't know the end result of what that's going to bring. I've had that happen several times in my own life. I know that. And you make a decision. You make a decision and you go ahead and you have no idea where that's going to lead. So let me do a treatment on this. I know that there is one power and one essence, and I speak my word for CJ. And as I speak my word for CJ, I know that as things come up to me in my life, is that I need to decide yes or no. And that I am given strength to know that. And so that it makes it much easier for me to make the decisions, to make the energy, to do the things that I need to do, to move forward, to create what I truly want. So I don't feel blocked in, or I don't let my mind get in the way and confuse me and be uncertain about the direction I want to go. This is about trust. Do you trust the universe, God, or whatever you put your power into? Do you really trust that? It's a yes or no. I feel here that sometimes you get a little confused with that. You say, yes, I do. But, sometimes we say, yes, we do here, but in the heart, we're not sure because we don't know what's coming up. And that's true. Whenever we go to make a decision that changes anything, we don't know. We have to trust the process step by step by step. And it makes it really, really, really hard. Really, really, really hard when you don't trust that you'll be able to take the steps and things get clearer until you can see perfectly clearly the direction that you want to do. Think about trust. And because I know that if you think about it, you will be given the answers because that's what you're asking for. Let me be clear. Do I move forward? Do I not? Even though this tells me that you probably will, but you're going to need trust to do that. Because often in these times of making commitments to a new path, to a new awareness, to a new whatever, we don't really know where that's going to all take her. Sorry, I get sidetracked into my own story over the years, how often that happened and how things, when I would never have visioned where I actually have ended up in my life. Such great, great memories of things that then because I trusted. So I know that CJ, you need to trust. You need to trust you. You need to trust whatever you believe in, that you will be taken care of as you move forward until everything opens up in panoramic view. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in knowing that the trust is there for you to just grab hold of, as I say, and so it is. And so it is. Okay, Maggie G says, thanks. Thank you, Norma. I now have a better understanding. Thanks again. Blessings and healing to you. Thank you. I take all of those. Carol Merkus says, makes so much sense. Thank you. Lynn Ackland says, thank you very much. CJ says, yes, thank you. I will say yes this week and try, don't like the word try, but anyway, I'll let you off with that one, to move forward. I am always saying no, not trusting the world, but I do trust him. Please do that. You got me completely. Watch out for the word try, because when we try, we don't do it. When we move forward, CJ, we got to, it's like jumping in a pool, which when I was young, would do. You know how you go up to a pool, then you jump into the water? It's the same thing. There's no try. You don't try to jump. You just go up and you jump into the pool. And so when you go to make a change, you do the same thing. Say, okay, guys, support system. Here we go. And we jump and we allow ourselves to go into the pool and we swim and we let the universe support us 100%. So that brings the end to our evening here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I'm not sure if any of the new subscribers are watching or not. There's been a lot of new subscribers in the last 2 weeks, I think. So thank you for that. Thank you for your comments. I answered quite a few of them today. I haven't been able to type, but my hand's pretty good, so I can type again for a bit. Not totally yet, but enough. So I answered a lot of comments today. And also, yeah, things are going really, really well. So we're on. So Wednesday, I'm talking about the last, it's 8 symbols of the Hayakana. The Revelation, I call them the Revelation series. They're, yeah, interesting. So that if you're interested in the tarot, Wednesday, and of course you can always go back and look at the videos that'll be up there. And then on Monday, and I don't know what happened to me this last Sunday. On a Sunday, I got caught up in a memory of going to the horse races with my father. And I went, when I kind of came to, and I went, what am I doing talking about that there? I'm just trying to think. Anyway, it was interesting. Probably because a friend and I had been talking about horses just the day before. And all of a sudden my brain went over there because, I don't start a lot of these with too many notes or anything. I just have a title and away I go. So I wish you well. Have a great few days until I'm back again on Monday. So you enjoy. Bless your hearts and thank you. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Know that you are loved beyond measure. Bye now.